Morning, everybody. I got something that I'm gonna just let off my chest. You know, I've got two people that were really good friends. But I'm gonna say 2026 is absolutely showing you how much they actually care about what's going down around them with that orange asshole squatting in the American people's White House, all the illegal shit he's doing, breaking it down. He's taking over the FCC where the news don't even give you accurate information, true information. He's trying to make them not say anything negative against him, which is the same shit Putin does with the media there. And it's the same thing that Israel does with the news media there. As a matter of fact, they kill people that are with the press that are speaking up and reporting on things and revealing, what's going on with the war and, things of that nature. Okay? And that has to do with our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, and burning the flag is a freedom of expression. Do I agree with it? Do I like it? Do I condone the burning of our flag? Absolutely not, because that flag draped the coffins of soldiers that fought for your right to do that. My father and brother were both in the army, which are no longer around. They are slowly going to try to take your guns, okay? And I am a firm believer on being able to keep and bear arms, just for the simple fact of the matter that there are people that will kick your front door in the middle of the night. And if they see someone's home, when they go to rob your home, because you're a witness to them doing what they're doing, they're going to kill you to keep you from speaking up. So if they take your guns, all they're doing is putting the power in the criminals, which is what they're doing with these Nazi ICE people. These idiots. Even the Constitution says that no militia is to invade our country or the streets of our country. And these people are acting very much like a militia. Okay? Smoke bombs, pepper balls, all kinds of stuff. There was a kid. He's 21, but I call him kid. To me, he's still like a kid, because they're younger than my son is. To me, in my age difference from theirs, they're a kid. And I don't mean no harm by it. I don't mean any harm or disrespect by it. But anyway, they shot this kid in the eye with a pepper ball. And this kid's father is a civil rights attorney. Enough is enough. But these people that I know, now I'm not saying that they need to consume themselves with everything, every day, all the time, things like that. But they're not speaking out. They're not speaking up. They're just sitting by and letting the world go by around them. But as soon as they lose something that they've been afforded to have, like Medicaid, when it gets to the point where they can't go to the doctor because they don't have insurance anymore, or the premiums has gone up too high for them to be able to pay because they're on Social Security, all of a sudden they're going to get mad and bent out of shape and all kinds of pissed off. But yet they sat by and didn't speak up. They didn't fight back. They're not listening and paying attention to what's going on around them. Because the news media isn't giving true and accurate information, I go to YouTube because there's attorneys on there that report on this stuff. Okay? And they bring receipts backing up what they're reporting on. They show proof of these things that they're reporting on. And there's some people that think that I'm just so full of shit. I've had one person online, when I told him, I said, look, I'm telling you, just go to YouTube. There's attorneys that are reporting on things. There's former news press that used to be on the news that's went independent. They're reporting on this stuff, and all their stuff that they're reporting is accurate. It's true. They bring receipts. Okay, they broadcast the information onto the other side of the screen, and you see it on the YouTube channel. Okay? And this one bitch smarted off and said, oh yeah, okay, YouTube, what's next? Cartoon Network? And bro, I wanted to slap shit out of her. I really did. And so, I'm going to read you how a country becomes an autocratic government. And I want you to think about this stuff. Okay? Because all of this is everything that Orange Dumbass is doing. Countries become autocracies by concentrating power in a single leader or group, usually through gradual democratic backsliding, where elected leaders dismantle checks and balances, the Supreme Court and Congress gave Orange Dumbass complete immunity. So now they're stuck in a situation where they can't really slow him down very much. Okay? Modern autocratization often involves exploiting political polarization, manipulating elections, and he wants to blame someone else for stealing the election. No. Orange Dumbass did it. He's the one that stole the elections. He is the one that committed the voter fraud. Okay? His buddies did. And the only way they would have done it from another country, like Russia, is by talking to the president of Russia, Putin. Okay? Spreading disinformation, which is where the fake news is coming from, is Donald Trump's mouth. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is open and Iran promised it will always remain open. No. Iran's got the damn thing shut because of the blockade. Alright? That's just one example. and curbing opposition rather than just violent coups. And democratic backsliding is elected leaders gradually weakening democratic institutions, judiciaries, parliaments, to consolidate executive power. Look at all of the executive things that fucking Donald Trump has signed. Okay? And a common trend since about 2000. Electoral manipulation. Leaders maintain a facade of democracy while using voter suppression, unfair rules, or overturning results to stay in power. Okay? Think about that. Think about that. I don't care what your political standpoint is, but think about that. Okay? I'm going to read it again. Leaders maintain a facade of democracy while using voter suppression. He's trying to take over the voting in midterms. He's trying to prevent people from voting. He's made a list. And if you're not on that list, guess what? He's trying to keep you from voting. Okay? Unfair rules, meaning that if anyone that was considered Democrat or independent was to attack the U.S. Capitol and done the things that MAGA done, killing some police, they killed other people in the Capitol when they attacked it, which is assault and battery and capital murder on state officials. Capital murder, you get the death sentence automatically. Okay? That's automatic. That's off the top. Boom. Done. They broke windows, broke the doors, busted glass out of the doors, used batons and beat people, used sticks, flag poles. Man, everything that they've done is an automatic felony. It is a government-ran facility. They defaced the property, destroyed property, killed people. Okay? And they were pardoned. Now, if anybody else had done that kind of shit, they'd be sitting in prison right now still. And capturing institutions. Autocrats politicize independent bodies like law enforcement and the judiciary to protect themselves and suppress opponents. Propaganda and disinformation. Control of media is used to control the narrative, often amplified by stroking nationalism and populism to create a with us or against us mentality. Coercion and violence. Utilizing security forces to stifle dissent, protests, and civil society, sometimes by intentionally inducing political violence. All this is everything that Donald Trump is doing. All this is everything that he's having the Nazi Gestapos do to us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the population, civilization. It doesn't make a damn what your political standpoint or views are. They're not going to stop and ask you, hey, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican or are you independent? I mean, Do you have any kind of political view on anything before they fucking attack you just because you're walking past somebody that has a different point of view and they think because you're out there they're going to get you too to stop you too? Real shit. A lot of MAGAs flipping. Polarization, severe social division fosters distrust, which enables politicians to act as extreme, polarizing figures. Crisis exploitation, taking advantage of a crisis to justify emergency powers and tighten control. Donald Trump's doing that too. If you pay attention, anything he wants or thinks he needs is automatic national emergency. Economic inequity. Using control over resources to build elite support, often leading to oligarch structures. What are we fighting right now? Elite oligarchs. Historical versus modern past. Historically, dictatorships frequently come to power through military coups and swift revolutions. Today, the authoritarian playbook favors a slower process where an elected leader slowly erodes freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion. They're trying to force you to all be Christians. Meanwhile, you got J.D. Vance in the White House who's a Catholic. And Donald Trump is attacking the Pope. Give it time. He's fixing to start attacking J.D. Vance. Okay? And a part of the First Amendment and the freedom of speech is freedom of expression. Reverts right back to the burning of the flag I was talking about. Okay? It's suppression. And that's what he's doing. And what really gets me is a couple of people that I've just cut ties with aren't speaking up. They're not speaking out. They're not standing up to nothing. They just go about their day like there isn't a damn thing going on. Watch TV, watching the movies, and just whatever. And they think that they know everything that's going on because of the news. The news isn't giving truthful information. Hell, Donald Dumpy Pants has even portrayed himself to be Jesus. That's blasphemy in itself, and an abomination. Okay? It's just unbelievable the amount of shit that's going on. They extend executive power, repress dissent and citizen efforts to hold government accountable, capture elite support, and when needed, demonize them too. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She chose to stand with the Epstein-Trumpstein survivors. All of a sudden, she became a traitor. Because she chose right versus wrong. Standing with a sexual assault survivor isn't political. It's not political. It's given a legal standpoint on who you stand with on right versus wrong and the violation of the law against survivors of sexual assault. Appeal to populism and nationalism. Okay. Control information at home, misinform abroad. Cripple the opposition, covert election manipulation, play the emergency card, extend your model and influence, learn and share. Direction is always unknown. I want y'all to start speaking up. I want y'all to start speaking out. I've started a political YouTube channel talking about the things that are going on. There's even one of me crashing out. I snapped. It took me 15 months to get there. I'm a part of No Kings. Not only am I a part of No Kings, but when you're involved with No Kings, it also is a peaceful protest. We're not destroying property or hurting people, physically hurting them. We're not throwing trash out on the ground. We're speaking up, speaking out, holding signs. Okay, it falls under our First Amendment of freedom of speech, but we're also doing online mobilizations against ICE, the concentration camps, against the about the EPA being dismantled. EPA is Environmental Protection Agency, which controls the amount of carbon monoxide released in the air from the chemical plants and, things like that. There's all sorts of things that we do that are online. Okay? We go through Zoom and have our meetings and talk and hear what's going on and the updated information, the NAACP, the ACLU, Indivisible, and numerous other places. There's things that y'all can do. But the people that I cut ties with aren't even doing that. They choose to live in the dark. They choose not to involve themselves in anything just because they get other information from a friend over here, or they get information from their kid over here. To make things happen, you got to do something. You got to get up and take action. You've got to stand up for something, or you'll fall for anything. The only reason that the women and the African Americans has got civil rights is because of Martin Luther King and other people that protested and took their march on to the Lincoln Building in Washington, D.C. That man showed up with 260,000 people. We had 8 million protesters nationwide fighting back for our rights. And it really kills me that these people I know aren't doing a damn thing to make a stand for shit. And you got 8 million people out on the street that day, just in one day, fighting back. Not for just us, but our kids, our grandkids, future generations, people we know. We're doing this not just for us. We're doing it for everyone. But make a stand. Make an effort and put forth some energy to be able to say, hey, we did fight back. When your kids ask you what you done. When your great-grandkids ask you about this time, because all this is going down in history. It is absolutely going down in history. When your grandkids ask you, Grandma, Grandpa, Auntie, Uncle, what did y'all do to fight back? What did y'all do to make a stand? What did y'all do to stop this? What are you going to tell them? Oh, I didn't do anything. I just sat on the bed and watched my movies and my TV, and I know someone that's all they do. Oh, I just went to work and I came home, and because I worked that day, I refused to do any damn thing else other than that and sit on my bed and watch TV. Maybe did a little schoolwork, or because I was in college back then, and cleaned the house and took the trash out. And what did you do for us as your grandkids when all this was happening, knowing that we could have come into the world not knowing what freedom was and being suppressed and left without homes, and like Israel still in their houses, and children in Gaza asking right now because they're so poor they don't even have food. These kids are skin and bones. Some of these kids are even asking, Mom, is there food in heaven? Imagine that being your grandkids because you didn't do shit. Imagine that being your grandkids even after 8 million people stood up to fight back so your grandkids could have the freedoms that you were afforded because of the civil rights movement. Before the civil rights movement, the only person that could vote was a fucking white man. Women couldn't work. We couldn't have money. We weren't allowed to buy our own home, buy our own land, have a car, have a job. Hell, they didn't even want us going to the store unless our husband was with us. Do you really want to revert back to them those days? You weren't really allowed to have a say in anything, and even if you did speak up, your opinion's going to be excluded from whatever it is the fucking white man wanted to do. Before the civil rights movement, the African Americans didn't even have a decent place to live. They didn't have equal pay. They weren't allowed to work decent hours. The owner of their job would pick and choose when they came in, how many hours they worked, when they worked. Oh, you're not working 8 hours today. I only need you for 2 hours and you can leave. Oh, I don't need you tomorrow. Don't come in. Your schedule's not written down. They were told from one day to the next. Well, no, I only got $20 I can give you today. Maybe tomorrow will be better. I can give you 30. The fuck? African Americans couldn't eat in the front of the restaurants. Go through the front door. They had to go in the back of the restaurant. Do you want your friends or family to revert back to that? Do you want our nation to revert back to something like that? That's what's going to happen. People need to stand up. People need to fight back. Things have to change. And it isn't going to change if you don't make a stand. People are suppressed every day, one way or another. What's fair is fair, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. We are all of the human race. And that's the way we need to be seen and heard and looked at and understood. We all deserve equal rights. And I'm not talking about less than what we've got right now. Because what we have less of is what we had before Donald Trump come back into office. He's slowly eroding the Constitution. He could give two fucks less about that Constitution. Make a stand.